What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to From the Bench. I'm your host, Will Meadows, and welcome to our Tuesday edition of the show, where we have a ton to talk about. Some transfer portal action, some guys that could potentially commit, some Tennessee targets that we thought maybe had a chance to come here that maybe have committed somewhere else, some guys that are staying inside of our football program, and then obviously, the number one basketball team in the country right now stays on fire as they cruise past Arkansas, and they've got a big one today against the 8th-ranked team in the country versus rival Florida. So before we get into anything, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment about how you feel about the game tonight at Florida. Obviously, it's a big top 10 matchup. It's going to be, like I said, on the road, which is going to be incredibly tough to win on the road in the SEC. So leave your prediction for that. And also, you can leave a comment about some transfer portal news that you'd like to see, maybe some guys that you'd like to see us go after. But first, I'd like to thank you guys. Our latest video that was about Amari Jefferson and some transfer portal guys and kind of a preview for the Arkansas game was my best video so far. I just want to thank you guys for that. It's well over 1,000 views here on YouTube, and that was kind of, people have New Year's resolutions. I kind of set like increment goals for the show. One of my goals was to have a video hit 1,000 views by June, and the first one of 2025 hit 1,000 views and then some. So a big thank you guys, and thank you guys for all the support. Now, we gained quite a few subscribers from it, so if you're new here and just trying to get into it, welcome. Stay a while. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I know I enjoy making it for you guys. Also, if you're not following our TikTok, it is From the Bench. That's all you need to look up on TikTok. It has been doing incredibly well. We've gained a lot of followers over there in the last, 3 days. I've had a video get to about 300,000 views, a video get to 250,000 views, a video get to 25,000 views, and a video that's at 100,000. So, 4 of my last 5, and I actually got to kind of talk to one of the guys that's going in the NFL draft this year. So it's been a pretty good week for From the Bench, the best week we've had yet, aside from maybe the start week, but it's been hard to beat. So thank you guys just for all the support. I love making you guys feel known or feel appreciated, because I really do from the bottom of my heart appreciate all that. But enough of my soap opera for you guys. Let's get right into it. We're going to talk about football first and basketball second, per the usual. And right now it's just a transfer portal update. As you can see, this smile on my face, a little bit of that is because Mike Matthews is coming home. He's not coming home. He's staying home. The day of our dang last episode, he decided to stay a few hours after. And I made one of the New Year's resolutions for the Vols to either keep Mike Matthews or land Zachariah Branch. Mike Matthews is staying. You guys know, if you pay attention to the show, or if you're a every episode listener, you guys know how much I love Mike Matthews. He is one of my 2 favorite players on the football team. So it was awesome. 1, he's my favorite player, but 2, I think he's going to be awesome for us this year. I think he's an incredible athlete. I think he's a great receiver, and I'm ready to see him kind of be the guy this year in this offense. Kind of adding on to that, bouncing off of that, we talked about the Zachariah Branch and his brother Zion Branch. Tennessee was reported to go all in on those 2. We're going to try and have him in here for a visit in January, and he ended up committing to Georgia, both of them. 2 days ago, I guess it is. Congrats to them. I hope that they do well over there, unless it's against us. I hope that they do horrible. But, the rich get richer, and Georgia had a receiver problem, and like I talked about it on the show when I made my college football predictions, or playoff predictions, they've got a receiver problem. Everybody wanted to say, Gunnar Stockton's going to be playing, Carson Beck this, Carson Beck that. Their receivers led the country in drops. And if you watch that game, Georgia versus Notre Dame, Gunnar Stockton was putting them on the money, and it was just drop after drop after drop. A couple big ones on 4th down and a couple big plays. So he should go over there and play quickly. I know they're bringing in a few good transfers, and they're bringing in a solid freshman. So it'll be interesting to see what Georgia's receiver room looks like. One guy that Tennessee has made the top 3 for this year, or recently, I guess, in the transfer portal is receiver out of Florida State, Malik Benson. Malik Benson was the number 1 JUCO player in the country a few years ago, and then he went to Alabama for a year, and then he went to Florida State last year, and now he's back in the portal. We're in the final three. I'm pretty sure the final three is us, Kansas State, and Oregon. So if you want my honest opinion, do I really want him here? Not quite. I mean, I hope he comes here and he balls out. I hope he wins the daggone Biletnikoff. But watching film on him and seeing his game, I don't know how good of a prospect he really is. Some guys, when you bounce around 4 times in 4 years, sometimes there's a reason. And I don't know how well his game would translate into our offense. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he comes here and wins the daggum Biletnikoff and is a first-round pick. But I wouldn't see that happening, and I think we have some better options, in my opinion. Another guy that I'd like us just to keep our eye on is, and this is just going to keep happening. I'm going to try and update this each and every episode because, more people are going to enter the portal and commit and enter the portal and commit. It's ridiculous. And I kind of thought that there's a limit on when you could enter the portal, and there was supposed to be, I think it was December 28th. But then Alabama, with the bowl games, it makes it a little confusing. So Alabama, that's who I use them as an example, but Alabama tight end Ty Lockwood has entered the transfer portal. Big body guy, excuse me. He is from Tennessee. That's why I want you guys to keep our eyes on him. He's a former number 1 tight end in the country. He was also committed to Ohio State before he ultimately ended up flipping to Alabama. But, sometimes, Ohio State's going to be top on that list. Again, like I said, he was committed there. But it's hard to disregard the home roots. So I'd like us to keep an eye on him. We could definitely use another tight end. Like I just said with Georgia, sometimes the rich get richer. Do we have tight ends? Yes. Miles Kitselman's coming back. Ethan Davis. We have playmakers there. And we have a really good freshman class of tight ends. But, sometimes the rich get richer, like I just said. Excuse me. So I'll keep you guys in the loop with that. And then I'll also keep you guys in the loop with Amari Jefferson, who we talked about last episode, receiver out of Alabama, another Alabama guy. From Tennessee, just like Ty Lockwood. He's from Chattanooga, went to Baylor for high school, so we'll keep an eye on him. That's really all we have football-wise because, again, they're not playing games. I'm excited for these semifinals of the college football playoffs, and I do want that. That's another thing I would like you guys to comment if you don't mind. I want to know your guys' playoff picks or national championship pick. I know a lot of us Tennessee fans are going to say Ohio State because they beat us and they look unstoppable right now, and I wouldn't blame you for saying that. They're my pick right now as well. But me personally, I think it's going to be Penn State versus Ohio State, and that's going to be a really good game. Penn State's a lot better than people wanted to give them credit for. That's a daggum good football team, and it's hard to stop the run with those boys because Katron Allen and Nick Singleton are very good at football. But that's all for football. Like I said, I'll keep you guys in the loop with the portal. I know it's chaos. I don't blame you if you're not able to keep up with it. I struggle myself to keep up with it, and I'm on it all the time trying to keep up with it. But it's ridiculous, and I'll keep you guys in the loop. But we're going to keep you guys in the loop with the basketball team, which it's not hard to be in the loop with them right now because daggone it, they're the best team in the country. Number 1 team in the country stays strong against John Calipari in the Arkansas Razorbacks this past weekend. And, man, if you watch that game, full control, the whole game, just drilled them. And that's one thing about this team. Arkansas came into the game averaging about 80 points a game, and they scored 52. And with this team, you may have nights where, Chaz Lanier can't hit, Jemai can't score, Zakai can't score, guys not being able to score. And it's kind of like the Illinois game. If you have a night where guys can't score, this defense is suffocating, and the defense is always going to keep you in it. And it's not like football where it just likes to disappear sometimes. We've always had a good defense, and it's here to stay, whether we like it or not. I'm sure we're in love with it because this basketball team is dang good. The Vols are 14-0 right now. They have a huge game tonight against Florida, which we'll talk about. But in the Arkansas game, Chaz Lanier led the way with 29 points. He shot 50% from the field and 55% from the three-point line. He was on fire. And man, oh man, is that release quick. Obviously we've seen him play, but watching it against SEC competition and SEC caliber athletes, I mean, that man is coming off the screen and it's flying. And it's kind of a low release, which is not normal for fast releases, especially if you remember Dalton Connect would shoot it here. I mean, he was a head shooter. Chaz Lanier is coming off and it's flying quickly, kind of from the abdomen area. It's kind of odd, but hey, if it's not broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Excuse me. Chaz Lanier, an incredible game by him. And one thing I love about Chaz Lanier is he plays defense hard too. He fits right in with this team's defensive identity, just shutting people down. And a testament to that is I said there's two guys that we really needed to stop in order to beat Arkansas, and that was Aduthiero and Boogie Flan. Aduthiero had 6 points, and Boogie Flan had 12. And 3 of those 12 was the first plays that Kai Ziegler was out of the game. He hit a step-back 3. And that's just kind of an example of how good Zakai Ziegler really is and the impact he has on the floor. He was all over Boogie Flan, all of 94 feet, and it was fun to watch. Jemai Mashak did a great job on Aduthiero, and so did everybody else that chipped in. Like I said, Lanier plays great defense. Cade Phillips and Felix Akapara and Igor were great inside. Gainey plays great defense. I mean, they are swarming to the ball, and it's suffocating. That's a perfect word to describe it, is suffocating. Zakai Ziegler had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals. He played a great game, and like I said, if you guys watch the show, you know how I'm big on some things don't show up on the stat sheet. I talk about it all the time with Cade Phillips, but Zakai's just presence guarding the ball was incredible. Boogie Flan was like 1 of 9 at some point, so big props to Zakai Ziegler. Igor Milicic had an incredible game, 13 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 assists. Yes, you heard that right, 18 rebounds. He was all over the place, and the Vols in general were all over the place. I think they had like 24 or 29 offensive rebounds, which, clap it up for that, because that is incredible. They were crashing, they were physical, and that's one thing, and I know other teams like Florida, for example, tonight, the first thing that their coach is telling them is you've got to match their physicality. Because if another team doesn't match our physicality early, especially, it can become a long night. And Arkansas was not matching our physicality one bit. That was one thing Adu was never very good at when he was here, was getting physical with physical teams or good teams. And it proved again against Arkansas. He didn't want to get physical with us. Big Z didn't want to get physical with us. And we really took advantage of it. Igor Milicic had one less rebound than the entire Arkansas team at halftime. I mean, that's unheard of. They were crashing the offensive boards hard. It was just a gritty, just hard-fought team win. It was really fun to watch. And another one, I love giving flowers when it's due. It's like I just said with Malik Benson, how I said that I don't know if he's the best. If you watch the show regularly, you've heard me say that I'm not too high on Felix Akapara. I kind of, like I just said about Adu, I don't think he's the most physical of physical people, and I don't think he hasn't played the best against good teams this year. Now, when it's Norfolk State, he looks good. But against the good teams, the physical teams that match our physicality, he hasn't really shown up. For example, Illinois, he played like 8 minutes. But he had his best game against a good team as a Tennessee Volunteer, was an incredible lob threat, and especially in the middle pick and roll game, he was great. He had 10 points and shot 50%, and I think all 4 of them were dunks, or all 4 of his field goals were dunks. So credit to Felix Akapara. It's like when I say that, by the way, when I say something about a player that may not be the nicest, one, that's because I'm just going to be honest all the time. Just kind of like I talked about Zachariah Branch when my friend Jaden was on the show. He was saying that Zachariah Branch this, Zachariah Branch that, and I was just being honest. Yes, did I want us to get Zachariah Branch? No doubt. But Zachariah Branch also struggled to get open on man coverage, and his routes were kind of an issue last year. So, I mean, that's just me being honest. I hope I'm wrong when it comes to Tennessee sports, and I hope they prove me wrong. I love when guys like Felix Akapara prove me wrong. I want him to be incredible for us. So again, I was just getting flowers where it is due. I love being wrong right there. I love seeing Felix Acapara do really well for the Vols, and I hope that continues. Speaking of continues, it's just going to keep getting hard. The road's just going to get more and more tough. The SEC is a gauntlet this year, and we're going to talk about what's to come tonight against the Florida Gators. The number 8 team in the country got their first loss the day that we beat Arkansas against Kentucky at Rupp Arena, a high-scoring game. It was like 100 to 106. So not a lot of defense being played in that game. But it's because Florida can flat out score it. Their 3 guards, their trio of guards, the 3-headed monster, whatever you'd like to call them, can flat out put the ball in the hole. That consists of Walter Clayton, Elijah Martin, and Will Richard. Now, those guys are just flat bucket getters. Walter Clayton averages 18 points a game. Elijah Martin averages 16 points a game. And Will Richard averages 14 points a game. So you put that together, that's like 40 points just between those guys right there. So, no, whoa. What is the math there, Will? It's more than that. It's like 50. Those guys are, like I said, just bucket getters. If you remember, obviously, Walter Clayton was on the team last year, and he was good last year. Elijah Martin was on those really good FAU teams, or the really good FAU team that made a run to the Final Four. Same as John L. Davis on Arkansas, who didn't do much against us. He had 0 points. But Elijah Martin is a very good basketball player. Walter Clayton had north of 30 points against Kentucky. So those guys, but if there's a team, I'll say this, if there's a team to shut them down, it's the Tennessee Volunteers. No doubt about it. Zakai, Jemai Meshack, Gainey, Chasanier playing great perimeter defense right now. And I'm very excited to see Zakai guard Walter Clayton or Elijah Martin and Jemai Meshack guard the other. It's going to be awesome. Chasanier's going to probably guard Will Richard. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not assigning the matchups here, but I'm excited to see how those guys do because, they're going to get theirs at some point. Obviously, your game plan is to stop them, but those guys are very good basketball players, and they're going to get theirs at some point. It's how you respond is what matters. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. My prediction for the game is, I'm going to say Tennessee's going to win. I'm going to say it until they lose. I don't care if it's at Auburn. I don't care where it's at. I don't care if it's at the daggum Oracle Arena and we're playing the Warriors. Until we lose, I'm going to say Tennessee's going to win. Is it very possible that we lose tonight? Yes. You're kind of due for one, as bad as that sounds. And on the road in the SEC is going to be ridiculous this year. The game is at 7 o'clock. Like I said, it's at Florida. It's on ESPN2 if you're interested in watching. And if you're listening to this, you're probably interested in watching. So it's on ESPN2 for people that want to tune in. And I'm very excited for it. I, personally, am going to record it and not pay attention to what happens from the outside world because I have a game at 7 o'clock. So, or 7:30, matter of fact. So I'm going to try, after my game, hurry and get home, watch it, fast forward through the commercials, and that way I have a more in-depth rather than just the box score. As y'all know, I love saying it's not just the box score that makes a good game. Watch the game over and let you guys know what I think. But I think that's going to end, or not end, but be it for the episode today. Again, thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have shown lately. It really does just make this a lot easier. Not easier because it just makes it more fun, Just like I want to make you guys feel appreciated, I love when you guys make me feel appreciated. Makes me feel like I'm doing something right, and I really do have a passion for this stuff, and I really do enjoy doing it all. So big thank you guys for all of that. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment of your prediction. Obviously, for basketball, I don't give a score prediction. I think I'll give one little prediction. I think we'll hold them under 70 points, 75 points, because the defense right now, suffocating. That might be some of the title because I've used that word a lot. Leave your predictions if you think Florida and Tennessee, if you think Florida's going to win or if you think Tennessee's going to win. I'm very interested to see that because I understand some people might think Florida's going to win because we're due one. And it's on the road in the SEC, which is ridiculous this year. But thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the Friday episode as we'll talk about this and then the game Tennessee is going to have this weekend and then some more transfer portal news. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching and go Vols.